toddlers to teens, from Sandown to Soweto, young South Africans are having to confront violence, even the death of a parent or sibling, right in front of their eyes. Bonita considers how life in South Africa is taking its toll on our youngsters.
Nico Killis, Jose Castell and Greg Siegel are promising soccer stars. On Monday, they were at a practice session here at the Balfour Park Alexandra Football Club in Johannesburg. Nico Killis is captain of the under-19 team.
We heard a gunshot and then a lady scream. We were not thinking anything of it because we normally hear these kind of sounds here. So we started joking around and saying there's another person that's been shot.
In the parking area, parents were waiting to pick up their kids. Among them, 17-year-old Noah Cohen's father, Sheldon. Coach Mark Abro ended the practice session a few minutes later.
One of the women came running up and she'd been hit and assaulted. And we came down to see what was going on, and we found that Sheldon's window had been broken and he was dead in his car.
One of three men who'd attacked another parent randomly shot Sheldon Cohen while fleeing. Greg Siegel has not been able to get the images of his friend's dying father out of his mind.
The worst part about the night was when his family arrived, and you heard the screams, and the little son, he lay on the floor and he started crying, and the mother was just screaming, and everyone was just in a panic. No one knew what to do. They never knew what to do.
Anybody here feels that this thing's shocked them to the extent that they need help, please come and speak to us.
On Tuesday, the club arranged for counsellors and a psychologist to speak to the boys and their parents. Their concern for Noah and his little brother and sister uppermost in their minds.
Zach and Noah are going to need our support. We're going to give it to them in abundance, wherever we are.
And we love him. He's such a nice guy, and his father's the best guy ever. He's a big part of the club.
Sheldon was buried on Wednesday, the day he would have turned 47. He was a brilliant businessman with an MBA from Harvard, but the boys remember him as a benefactor helping underprivileged children.
At this age, we should be enjoying our lives and spending time with people we love and family and friends and doing things with children or teenagers are supposed to do, and not be worried about going out and getting robbed or going out and experiencing severe crimes.
Marita Rademacher counsels children affected by violent crime at the Child Trauma Clinic in Pretoria. They range from babies of 18 months to teenagers, many suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD.
Certainly we've seen in practice a tremendous increase in children who are exposed to crime and violence and abuse.
How many of our children are suffering from PTSD?
Studies in South Africa are showing that between 20 and 40% of South African children are suffering from post-traumatic stress, depending of course on the communities where the studies are being done. Worldwide the incidence is probably about between 3 and 5%, so we really are in trouble.
What does it really mean in terms of figures?
In a class of, let's say, 30 children, 10 of them might be experiencing fully blown symptoms of PTSD.
This week, Carte Blanche visited Morris Isaacson High School in Soweto. Head of Department, Nkateko Mageza, introduced us to her grade 12 class.
Yeah, you can just put up your hand if you have in some way or another been affected or experienced a violent crime.
Okay, almost everyone in here has a story to tell about crime.
My friend was raped by 2 men in one day.
And how did it make you feel when your friend came to you and told you that this had happened to her?
I also imagine it happening to me.
My father's car gets stolen and he was shot. Sometimes when we are driving at night, I'm getting a little bit scared.
And the kids were crying. Everyone was crying.
What about you? How did you feel?
At the moment, I didn't cry. I didn't know what to do. I just stood there and looked at him.
Once they started, the stories kept coming.
It's hard to believe that in one classroom, almost every single student has had a direct experience with a violent crime. And almost all of them are still living with the trauma. But it's because most schools just simply don't have the luxury of providing full-time counselors, and overworked teachers can only stretch themselves so far.
How did you feel when the children were telling their stories?
I felt like crying. I felt like telling them everything will be okay. But you can't make such promises to a child when you know maybe it won't be okay.
What are some of the telltale signs that parents can look out for?
One of the first symptoms is that children get irritated and angry, getting scared quickly. Those are generally the things that we see first.
Baie keer is skryf die kinders eweslik na byvoorbeeld na 'n roof anderster. Hulle handskrif is anderster. Hulle draai hulle letters om. So dit wys eintlik wat se emosionele trauma dit vir hulle eintlik was.
Eunice Ace and Marlene van Skalkwyk are a social worker psychologist team at a school in Pretoria. They see at least 6 children affected by violent crime every day.
Toe het hulle net die hele tyd my man in die kop geskop en gevra waar die kan. En toe sê hulle ons het nie kan nie. En toe die laaste toe hulle kom by op ons. Toe dink ek en my man ek kan hulle ons skiet, maar toe het hulle nie.
Soms voel die kinders verantwoordelik vir hulle ouers. Jy weet, hulle is eintlik bang om skool toe te kom, want hulle wil soort van ook hulle ouers beskerm. Net soos wat die ouers weer voel, hulle wil die kinders beskerm.
Fred and Ursula Picton Turbeville did everything to protect their 4 small children in their Waterkloof Ridge home in Pretoria. A month ago, they were having a family day, playing games and watching DVDs. Suddenly, 2 men appeared in their backyard. Ursula tried to get the kids into the house.
He knocked the cell phone out of my hand, put the gun to my head and was just going, sleep, sleep, sleep. So they got us all down on the floor. The kids were in front of me and the 2 little ones were sort of around the corner in the passage. And Fred was then behind me. And he was just saying to them, please don't hurt my children, please don't hurt my children. And I'm saying to the kids, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, just do what they say. And we're saying to them, take whatever you want. Just go, just take, go. And the other guy just came up and just shot him. Just shot him in the head.
10-year-old Samantha and 9-year-old Bryony saw their father being shot. The 2 little ones, Natasha and Gregory, were just around the corner. But after the assailants had fled, they too saw their dad lying in a pool of blood.
Natasha, we just told her that Daddy'd gone to heaven. Sorry. And Gregory kept on saying, when are they going to fix Daddy? When are they going to fix Daddy? And we kept on having to say to him, they can't fix Daddy. And Natasha just shut up.
Surely our children should have the freedom to play in their own backyard. But if armed thugs can come into a protected place like this and shoot their father right in front of them, we have to ask the question, where can our children be children?
Children and all of us really have a sense of the world as a safe place and of people, you know, generally as good. So the moment a child is traumatized in that way, in other words, by person-centered crime, the whole view of the world is unsafe. My own house is unsafe. My parents were unable to protect me. So the basis and the assumptions upon which the child's life really are based are shaken to the core.
Ursula and the kids have moved out of their family home. Their first thought was of leaving the country.
I mean, the kids also at first said, no, we're too scared, we want to leave here. But they're also coming around to the fact that if they leave here, it's more trauma for them because they've got to make new friends, go to a new school. If it's a new country, it's a whole new culture. And they're used to it here now. So just try and find as safe an environment as possible for them and try and live as normal a life as possible.
The Picton Turbeville children are getting counseling, and Ursula provides them with a loving and supportive environment. But she can't undo the fact that their father was murdered.
You know, people say, oh, you know, well-meaning people, oh, it'll get better. How will it ever get better? They might not feel so sad because they'll learn to deal with it. But it doesn't change the fact that they no longer have their dad.